When was the Simon Commission appointed? On whose recommendation was the Simon Commission appointed? In 1929, elections were to be held in Britain. Friends, at that time there was a Conservative Party government. It was called the Indian Story Commission. In the exam, you will be asked from when to when was Lord Irwin's tenure? How many members were appointed in it? When did it reach Bombay in India? First of all, you will remember who wrote the slogan, "Go back to Simon." When did Lala Lajpat Rai die? He said that every blow of the lathi on me will prove to be the last nail in the coffin of the British. He is saying on whose suggestion Indians were kept out of the Simon Commission? So the correct answer, friends, will be Lord Irwin. You will be asked in the exam that when was the Simon Commission appointed, so you will say it was in 1927. On whose recommendation was the Simon Commission appointed? So everyone will remember Lord Birkenhead. Here you know that Morley Minto reforms came. After 10 years, it was reviewed, my friends, so what came next? Montagu-Chelmsford reforms came. Montagu-Chelmsford reforms came. You will ask where was the first discussion of elections held? It was held in Montagu-Chelmsford. After this it was said that it will be reviewed again after 10 years. And this review was to be done in 1929, friends, but 2 years before 1929, i.e. in 1927, Simon Commission was appointed. So you know that elections were going to be held in Britain in 1929. Friends, in the exam it is asked that when Simon Commission was appointed, who was the Prime Minister of Britain in the elections that were going to be held in Britain? At that time, there was a Conservative Party government. He will ask whose government was it? So everyone will comment that there was a Conservative Party government. He will ask you who was the Prime Minister of Britain? Variant question. So remember, there used to be Stanley Baldwin. Stanley Baldwin used to be the Prime Minister of Britain. This Stanley Baldwin was troubled by this. He was worried that if we lose the elections, then in such a situation the Labour Party will form the government, and the Labour Party government that will be formed will not be able to reign in the Indians with that much strength. So that is why he appointed the Indian Statutory Commission. It used to be called the Indian Statutory Commission. What do we lovingly call this commission? So we call it the Simon Commission. You will be asked that when this Simon Commission was being appointed, its meeting was called in Britain. Friends, an Indian viceroy had come to the meeting in Britain, and who was the viceroy of India? So it used to be Lord Irwin. In the exam you will be asked from when to when was the tenure of Lord Irwin? So remember, his tenure used to be from 1926 to 1931. This Lord Irwin recommended that not even a single Indian should be included in it. Now the second question comes that how many members were appointed in it? So 7 members were appointed. 7 members were appointed. And do you know who led all the 7 members appointed in this? Sir John Simon led it. That is why it was called Simon Commission. Because what were all these members, friends? All the members were British. That is why it is also called White Commission. Now when Simon Commission was appointed, it is asked in the exam that what was the date of appointment. A question was asked in TR1. Tell all of you what was the date of appointment. So the 8th of November 1927 was the date of appointment, friends. The second date that is asked is when did it come to India, my friends? So it reached Bombay in India. First of all, remember who reached Bombay? So remember it reached on the 3rd of February 1928, friends. On the 3rd of February 1928, when it came to India, it was welcomed with a strike in Bombay, friends, and a slogan was raised here. And what was that slogan? That slogan was Simon Go Back. In the exam it will be asked who wrote the slogan of Simon Go Back, so all of you can comment. Who wrote it? Yusuf Mahar Ali wrote it. Friends, Yusuf Mahar Ali wrote this slogan. Keep this in mind. Another question is asked that Lala Lajpat Rai died here. Absolutely. So Lala Lajpat Rai died here when Lala Lajpat Rai was protesting inside Lahore in Punjab, and Lala Lajpat Rai was hit by lathis. Remember, friends, here a date is asked. When did Lala Lajpat Rai die? Keep in mind, friends, on the 17th of November 1928, Lala Lajpat Rai was hit by lathis used by Asp Sanders. He said that every blow of lathis on me will prove to be the last nail in the coffin of the British. Lala Lajpat Rai said this here. Remember this. When Lala Lajpat Rai passed away, when Lala Lajpat Rai was no more in this world, Motilal Nehru said that Lala Lajpat Rai was peace among the peacemakers. There was peace among the peacemakers. This was also said about Lala Lajpat Rai. This was also said about him.